Hi, I'm Robi, also known as ambroscrochet somewhere on the internet, and today I wanted to show you how to make this little bee. It's probably one of the first patterns that I ever made. It's a very simple one, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy, but it's more simple in that it has less moving parts, but it still provides some good practice for color changes, which I actually show you, and just single crochet increases, single crochet decreases. So I think it's really good practice and it gives you something fairly simple to make even if you're just a beginner. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you do, you can just leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, I don't know, the whole thing. Yeah, let's just get to it. Okay, so here's what we are going to need. So we're going to need some yarn. I'm going to be using yellow, black and white yarn. You're going to need a crochet hook to match your yarn, so that's going to be a 3mm crochet hook in my case, and you are going to need some 6mm safety eyes. If you don't have them, I think you can just embroider a very simple dot, because the bee is going to be small enough that it's going to allow for that to be enough of an eye. And then you are going to need just a little bit of toy stuffing. If you have a tapestry needle, that would be for the best, and also some pins. Okay, so here are the stitches we will be working with. So we are going to be using the magic ring, single crochet increase and single crochet decrease. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to start by using the yellow yarn, and you are going to start by making a magic ring, and then we are going to make 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Okay, so once those are done, you want to close the magic ring, and then round 2 is going to be 1 increase in each single crochet, so that's a total of 6 increases, which means 6 times you are going to be working 2 single crochets in the same single crochet of the previous round. So at the end we are going to have 12 single crochets, and I will just see you once I have those done. Okay, so once round 2 is done, we can move on to round 3, which is going to be 3 single crochets and then 1 increase, repeated 3 times in total. So at the end we are going to have 15 single crochets. So what you do is you make 1 single crochet in each of the first 3 single crochets, and then in the 4th single crochet you make 1 increase, and you repeat that 3 times. So at the end we are going to have 15 single crochets, and I'll see you once I have those done. Okay, so once round 3 is done, we can move on to round 4, which is going to be 4 single crochets and then 1 increase, repeated 3 times. So at the end we are going to have 18 single crochets. So it's just the same as we did for round 3. So you want to make 1 single crochets in each of the first 4 single crochets, then 1 increase into the 5th single crochet, and so on until you've repeated that 3 times. So at the end you have 18 single crochets, and I'll just see you once I have those done. Okay, so once round 4 is done, we can move on to round 5, which is just going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch. So at the end of round 5 we will still have 18 single crochets, and I'll see you once I have this done. Okay, so I've zoomed you in a little bit because now that round 5 is done, we are going to move on to rounds 6 and 7, which are going to be worked in the black yarn. So we're going to make the stripe of the bee, and I wanted to show you how to change colors real quick, and I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can change colors. You can pick which one you like best. So I think the first one that I'm going to show you is a little bit more beginner friendly. So what you do is you finish making your last single crochet of the previous round, right? So let's say you have to change colors now, which I do. So you take the new color and you basically create a loop on your index finger. So you can leave just a little bit of a tail, and then you create this loop on your index finger. Okay, and then you grab that loop with your crochet hook and you pull it through the loop that you have on your crochet hook in the previous color, just a little bit, like so. Then you pull on the tail of the previous color, so the yellow for me, so that now basically I have a new loop that I can continue working with in the new color. Okay, and what you do now is you just work the 2 tails that you have left in the next stitches. So rounds 6 and 7 are still going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch. So basically what you would do is you insert your crochet hook as you would normally into the next single crochet, and you make sure that the tails are above the single crochet. And then when you yarn over, the yarn that you yarn over with, which is the one in the new color, so in black for me, you make sure that that yarn goes over the 2 tails, okay? And you just pull it through with your crochet hook. And when you go and yarn over once again with the new color, you go above the 2 tails with a crochet hook. So you just yarn over again, pull through, and that's your regular single crochet. Okay, that way the tails are just going to be worked into the round and you don't need to do anything else with them. Obviously you're going to cut the yellow at a certain point, so probably right here, and you'll just keep working with a new color. This goes for when we are going to change from black to yellow once again too. I'm going to show you the second way to change colors. So the second way to change colors, so this is not the last stitch that I made for round 5, okay? This is going to be the second to last stitch, because when you want to change colors with this way, what you do is, I have to now work the last stitch of round 5, right? So I insert the crochet hook, yarn over, pull through, so just a regular single crochet, except that I don't close it. So I stop right here, and what you do is you take the color that you want to change to, create a loop on your index finger, and you pull it through both loops that are on your crochet hook. Now the reason why I think this is a little bit less of a beginner friendly way to change colors, but honestly it depends, it's very subjective, so don't let me discourage you from trying, is because you have to keep a little bit better control of the tension of these 2 loops basically, because you can't let them go now that you pull the new color through both loops on your crochet hook. So you go like this and like this. Okay, so then now basically the new color is into the previous stitch, and now you can keep working with the new color. So you make sure that you work with the yarn that is attached to the ball of yarn, and you now hide the 2 tails in the next stitches, because again rounds 6 and 7 are going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch. So at the end of round 6 and at the end of round 7 we will still have 18 single crochets. So what you do once again is you insert the crochet hook into the next single crochet, keeping the tail, the 2 tails of the 2 colors above your single crochet, and then you just yarn over, making sure that the new color goes above the 2 tails. So the crochet hook goes under the tails and the yarn goes above the 2 tails. Okay, so you yarn over, pull through, and as you pull through, obviously the tail is going to go, as you can see, it's going to go around basically the tails. So the new color is going to go around the tails. Yarn over, pull through, and now the crochet hook goes over the 2 tails. So you yarn over, pull through, and that's your new color. Okay, so just 1 single crochet in each stitch for 2 rounds. So I'll see you once I have those done. Okay, so rounds 6 and 7 are done, so we are going to very quickly just place the safety eyes. So first of all, if you want, and only if you care, if you want to keep the color change underneath the bee, so on the bottom of the bee, place the safety eyes this way. If not, just consider the distance that I tell you in stitches, and that's going to be enough. So they're going to go between rounds 3 and 4, so 1, 2, 3, so between 3 and 4. So you place the first eye, and then you want to place the second eye, counting 7 stitches on the side where you cannot see the color change. So if this is the color change, we are going to count 7 single crochets going this way, okay? Because where there is more distance between the eyes, that's going to be the top of the bee, Okay, so you just count 7 stitches, and next we are just going to place the safety of the safety eye. And as you can see, one thing that works really well with this pattern is that because there is so little space, basically once you place the safety of the safety eyes, it kind of works as a shaping mechanism for the bee as well. So you can see that the shape of the front of the bee has changed a little bit, and it's changed for the better. So that's one neat way, I suppose, in which this pattern works. So next we are going to change back to yellow. And again, you can pick and choose whichever color change works best for you. And we are going to work on round 8, which is going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch, but in yellow. So I'll see you once I have that done. Okay, so once round 8 is done, we can move on to round 9, which is going to be 4 single crochets and then 1 decrease repeated 3 times. So at the end we are going to have 15 single crochets. So once again, it's just 1 single crochet in the first 4 single crochets and then 1 decrease worked in the next 2 single crochets, and repeat that 3 times. So at the end we are going to have 15 single crochets, and I'll see you once I have those done. Okay, so once round 9 is done, we can move on to round 10, which is going to be 3 single crochets and then 1 decrease repeated 3 times. So at the end we are going to have 12 single crochets, and I'll see you once I have this done. Okay, so before we move on to round 11, which is going to be the last round, we are going to stuff the bee. Not really much to say about the stuffing, just be mindful if you've used safety eyes of the shape that the kind of like the face of the bee has taken thanks to the safety eyes. So just be a little bit mindful of that, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And you can really choose if you want to round the bottom of the bee as well, so if you want to add some stuffing here as well, or if you want to keep it a little bit more flat, which is what I usually do, so you don't add as much stuffing. But honestly, it's really up to you and what you like best. Okay, so now we move on to round 11, which is going to be the last round, and it's just going to be 6 decreases. So my advice, if you haven't finished stuffing the bee yet, which I usually don't because then the stuffing gets in the way of the last few decreases, you can just keep stuffing as you keep decreasing. So as you make the last round, you can also keep stuffing the bee. Okay, so I'll see you once that is done. Okay, so once that is done, you are just going to slip stitch. So a slip stitch, just in case, it's just you insert your crochet hook into the next single crochet, and then you yarn over, pull through, and you also pull through the loop on your crochet hook, and you just close it basically. So you cut the yarn. If you want to leave a little bit of a tail so that we can just adjust the last round so that it's not as visible, I'm going to show you what that means as soon as I can find my tapestry needle. Not you. Where is my tapestry needle? Here. Okay, so what I mean is, I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit. So what I mean is, basically for that last round, what you want to do is you want to focus your camera, maybe, kind of, and then what you do is you insert the needle underneath the loop, this loop. So if you look at the single crochet right here, right, for example this one, it has 2 loops, right? So the front loop and then the back loop, which is the one that goes in the inside. Okay, so the front loop is the one that's closer to you, the back loop is the one that's further away from you. So what you do is you insert the needle into the front loop of the single crochet that's after the single crochet that you've just slip stitched into. Okay, so insert the needle there, and then you go into the front loop of the single crochet that's opposite that, so in front of that, except that you have to remember that that front loop is going to be on the other side. So it's not going to be the one that's closer to the center of the bee, which would be this one. It's going to be the opposite one, so this one. Okay, because you have to think it would be the front loop if you were looking at it from this perspective, not keeping it like this, because you wouldn't normally work like this when you crochet. Okay, and then you go over, so you go back to the side that's closer to you, going over that last round, so like so, and you do it again with the next couple of single crochets, so front loop, like so. And then you just want to, basically you see that it's a little bit bumpy, so everything that you see, you try to flatten it on the amigurumi by using the yarn. So for example, I just grab onto this bump right here, and then I go back into the amigurumi so that it flattens it. Okay, so that's already better. Okay, so next we are just going to make and sew the wings, and we'll be done. And this is not in focus. Good. Okay, so next we're going to make the wings. So you want to make 2 of these, and we are going to be using the white yarn. So you want to start by making a magic ring, and then we are going to make 6 single crochets into the magic ring, and that's going to be round 1. And then round 2 is going to be 1 increase in each single crochet for a total of 6 increases. So at the end we are going to have 12 single crochets. That's just 2 single crochet in each single crochet that you have, 2 single crochets in every single crochet that you have. Okay, so at the end we are going to have 12 single crochets, and I'll see you once I have those done. Okay, so once you have that last increase done, you're just going to slip stitch, and then you're going to cut the yarn, leaving just a little bit of a tail so that we can sew the wing to the body. And you want to make 2 of these wings. Okay, so once you have both your wings, as you can see, I've already sewn the first one, so I'm going to show you how to sew the second one. So first of all, we are going to zoom you in so that I can show you a little bit better where you should place it and how you should place it. If you want to place it the same way that I did, which you don't have to, so you can place it wherever you want. I'm just going to show you just in case you want to do the same thing that I did. So the way that I measured where I want to place the wing is, you can take your crochet hook, you can take a needle, you can do it by eye, it's fine. You just want to count 3 single crochets on the first black round that you have. You count 3 single crochets going upwards from the crochet hook. So basically you trace a line from the bottom of the eye to the first row or the first round in black, and then you count 3 single crochets, so that's 1, 2 and 3. And now the wing goes in between the 2 black rounds, which were round 6 and 7, so it goes in between rounds 6 and 7. So you place the wing basically where you have the crochet hook, so 3 single crochets up from the eye, that's between rounds 6 and 7, so here. Okay, and we have to sew about 2 single crochets, so I think it's more comfortable if you keep the stitch with the tail as the first stitch that you're going to sew, because that's going to be easier when you go and sew. So you want to pin it like this. I can take this off. And now when it comes to sewing the wings, I'm going to show you. Once again, I'm not really a seamstress, I don't really sew aside from the amigurumis, so you might know better than me how to, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to show you how I would do it and how I normally do it. So we want to sew it right between rounds 6 and 7, right? Or 7 and 8, wait. 6 and 7, no, I was right. Okay, so right between rounds 6 and 7. So what you do is you take the yarn after you threaded it with your needle, and you are going to go right between the rounds, okay? And it's easier to show you than to describe it, so hopefully that is good enough. So you then go back into the wing, but into the next single crochet, and then you go back into the body, but again into the next single crochet, still in between those two rounds. And then you just have the needle come out into the next stitch. Okay, and if you want, you can sew just one last time just to pin the last stitch down a little bit better. And what I do to hide that tail is I go here first just to basically have somewhere where the yarn can go, and then I just go back and go up into the wing, making sure that you cannot see the yarn, so making sure that it's in between the stitches. And then I just hide the tail into the wing, so I go back and forth, and that's going to be us done. Okay, so here's the little bee done. Honestly, it's such a simple pattern because it doesn't have a lot of moving parts, but it's really cute, and I've noticed in markets people really appreciate the little bees. So hopefully, you know, whether you're a beginner or someone who has already been crocheting for a while, hopefully you found this helpful and fun, and I just hope you make lots of bees. It's a really fun pattern to just make all over again. It's fairly you know, it's one you can work on without thinking too much about it, and I think it still provides some good practice. So that being said, that's going to be me for today, and I hope you have a nice day. You can follow me on Instagram, you can subscribe to the channel, you can like the video, I'm sure you know, you can comment, and that's always very, very much appreciated, honestly. And I'll just see you for the next one. I hope you have a nice day. Bye bye.